Welcome to the Ultimate Fighter 25 Ultimate Fighter Redemption finale prediction video. We're going to run through the card quickly. Obviously, we don't know the finalists from the season yet. This is going to take place July the 7th out of Nevada. On the card is going to be Justin Gaethje making his debut against Michael Johnson, Elias Theodorou against Brad Tavares, Mark Diakaze against Drakkar Klose, Steve Bosse against Jared Cannonier, Marcel Fortuna against Jordan Johnson, Gray Maynard against Teruto Ishihara, Jessica I against Aspen Ladd, who will be making her debut, Angela Hill against Ashley Yoder, Ed Herman against CB Dollaway, and Juliana Lima against Amanda Ribas. Like I said, there's going to be the Ultimate Fighter finale matches as well. Obviously the show has been coached by Cody Garbrandt and TJ Dillashaw. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like that match is going to happen soon, but probably will happen in the next few months. I haven't really been following this season. I don't like the Ultimate Fighter format. I prefer just watching fights, so something like this Dana White's Tuesday Night Fights or whatever it's going to be, Contender Series. I think that's much more entertaining. If they wanted to do something with showing the training, that would be much better. You could show MMA athletes or MMA gyms training guys, helping guys out. I don't really understand why they split them into two teams. Obviously they've got to fight each other, so maybe it makes it some kind of competition or something. And obviously if you've got the coaches fighting at the end of the season, then it builds some kind of tension. But for those guys, they're not really a team. They can fight each other. It's just, for me, it seems a little bit weird. Anyway, we're going to get to the fights on the night. So Juliana Lima against Amanda Ribas. Lima is 9-3. 10 out of her 12 fights have gone a decision. She was Joanna Jędrzejczyk's first fight in the UFC, and actually she has a pretty good record, 3-2. That's not bad for the UFC. And Ribas, only one fight has gone the distance. This is her UFC debut. Ribas' best chance is to try and win this early, but I think it's quite unlikely, and probably Juliana Lima wins via decision. So the next fight up is two veterans. We have Ed Herman, who's 23-12, against CB Dollaway, who's 15-8. Now Herman has lost 4 of his last 7. What can we say about that? 4 of his last 7. If that kind of run of win one, lose one, win one, lose one is going to hold true, he should win this one against CB Dollaway. Now, CB Dollaway has lost 3 in a row. He's just coming back on an 18-month layoff. And, to me, those factors say, oh, probably Ed Herman's going to win this. But I actually feel CB Dollaway has the most left to give you MMA in general. And I think he's going to come back and win via decision. Next up, we have Angela Hill, who's 6-3, going up against the Spider Monkey, Ashley Yoder. Yoder is 5-2 with 4 wins via submission. Both lost last time out. Hill, I think, is the more experienced, faced the better opposition. And I think Hill will probably win this one via decision. Now, next up, we have Jessica I, who's 11-6. Lost 5 of her last 6, and she's going up against a very impressive young Aspen Ladd, who is 5-0. She actually beat Cynthia Calvillo, who the UFC seemed to be pushing quite strongly as an amateur. And my feeling is that the debutant Ladd, who's won 3 fights via TKO, elbows and punches, probably gets this one, maybe by decision, but I expect big things from Aspen Ladd, and I think this is going to be a launch pad for her. Then we have the very experienced Gray Maynard, 12-6-1, 37 years old, going up against 25-year-old Teruto Ishihara, who's 9-3-2. 8 of those 9 wins coming via TKO. So, Gray Maynard has won 10 by decision. He's lost 4 by TKO or KO. He's got a lot of miles on the clock, to say that he's only had 19 fights. Gray could take him into deep waters, but actually I feel Ishihara has enough about him, and Gray's old enough, let's say, good enough battle worn, that Ishihara wins this via TKO. Next up, we have a very, very exciting match, in my opinion, in the light heavyweight division, which is really wide open at the moment. Marcel Fortuna, who's 9-1, 5 of those wins coming by submission, but last time out, he fought at heavyweight and he knocked out Anthony Hamilton, who is a huge heavyweight. Now, Jordan Johnson, 7-0, 4 by submission, very, very slick for a big guy. I'm really looking forward to this. I think this could be a really telling fight for the future of the light heavyweight division. And maybe Fortuna gets another win by TKO. I think on the ground it would be a great grappling exchange. And both guys certainly have the chops to win on the ground. But maybe Fortuna has shown that he's got that power standing up. And like we saw from Roy Nelson, when a grappler figures out that they can knock people out, they tend to go back to that well. Then we have a really good battle also at 205 in Steve Bosse, who's 12-2, 9 via TKO, going up against Jared Cannonier, who's 9-2. If they stand and bang, this is Bosse's fight to lose, in my opinion. However, Cannonier can take him down and, grind out a victory. I think Cannonier is the better all-round fighter, but I think Bosse has a hell of a chin and a hell of a hook. So, if Cannonier wants to win this, he needs to take him down. Then we have my boy, Mark Gaethje, 12-0, going up against 7-0-1 Draco Klose. Now, Gaethje has 6 TKOs, Klose has 4, so you expect that this one is going to end by TKO. Now, I've said for a long time that Gaethje is going to be the future of this division. I'm not backing down from that. I think this is going to be a hell of a match. Maybe even if this goes to 3 rounds, this could be fight of the night. I don't think it'll go 3 rounds. I think this is going to end early with Gaethje with his hand up from a TKO victory. Then we have what I would consider to be the co-main event of the evening. Eliza Spartan Theodoro, who's 13-1, going up against Brad Tavares, who's 14-4. In my opinion, the Spartan has everything to become a big star. Not just an MMA star, but a really big crossover kind of star if he gets the right results. Now, Tavares has only lost, let's say, recently to Yoel Romero, Tim Boach, and Bobby Knuckles, Robert Whittaker. So he has lost, but to very good opposition. However, I would say that Theodoro has the edge here, and the Spartan wins this via decision. Then we get to the main event of the evening, and one of the best competitors to be existing outside the UFC in recent years is Justin Gaethje. 17-0. 17-0 with 14 TKO victories. He has never been over 3 rounds, so if this one goes into, the championship rounds, Michael Johnson will probably have the advantage. Johnson is 17-11, and he has never been TKO'd. Now, Johnson is a good boxer, but if he wants to win this, he needs to wrestle Gaethje. If he stands and bangs or lets Gaethje eat him up his legs with the... Gaethje's got very good leg kicks as well. So if he stands in that kind of range, he's in for a bad night. However, and I want to say that Johnson's going to win this by decision because I want him to wrestle Gaethje, take him into deep waters and see what he's got. But, there's part of me that just knows if they start banging, Johnson's going to start throwing leather and he's going to stand in the pocket and Gaethje can eat him up there. I don't know. Am I going to change? I came in and I thought I was going to give this to... Yeah, I'm going to stick with my decision. I think Johnson's going to wrestle him. I hope Johnson stays disciplined and doesn't get involved in a slugfest with Gaethje. I'm going to say Michael Johnson by decision, but as you can see, I'm very conflicted by that. I think it's going to be an interesting card. Whoever comes off the Ultimate Fighter and is fighting to win it or redeem themselves, I'm sure it's going to put on a hell of a show. So it should be a great warm-up. The pay-per-view card that's coming afterwards is a hell of a card. Bobby Knuckles against Yoel Romero. Wow, I'm looking forward to it. Like, share, subscribe, comment, all that kind of stuff.